All right, here are the correct answers for directed reading A, Chapter 5, Section 2 on fossil fuels. Number 1, natural resources that humans use to generate energy are called energy resources. C. 2 is A, non-renewable energy resource formed from the remains of plants and animals that lived long ago is fossil fuel. The three types of fossil fuels are petroleum, which we sometimes call oil, coal, and natural gas. Why is it important to conserve fossil fuels? Fossil fuels are non-renewable resources. Once they are burned, they are gone. Also, when we burn fossil fuels, it puts pollution into the air. When we mine fossil fuels out of the ground, that ruins habitats. So there's a lot of consequences associated with fossil fuels. 5 is B, carbon. All living things are made up of the element carbon. 6, most carbon and fossil fuels exist as hydrogen-carbon compounds called hydrocarbons. 7, a liquid mixture of complex hydrocarbon compounds is petroleum. 8, what percentage of the world's energy comes from petroleum products? More than 40%. It's a lot. 9, a mixture of gaseous hydrocarbons used as fuel is natural gas. So gaseous and gas, it's natural gas. What is the main component of natural gas? Methane. What is one disadvantage of using natural gas as fuel? Natural gas leaks can cause explosions. If you're not careful, it could be very, very dangerous. 12, a solid fossil fuel formed underground from partially decomposed plant material is coal. 13, what were two ways coal was used when it was the major source of energy in the United States? People used coal to heat their homes and to power coal-burning steam locomotives. So we were burning a lot of coal. We have a lot of coal in the United States. It's an abundant resource. So we were burning a lot of it and putting a lot of pollution into the air. One reason that people now use less coal is because when cleaner energy resources became available, people reduced their use of coal. So since we figured out how to use natural gas and oil more, nuclear energy as well, we don't need coal as much. One major way coal is used today, many power plants burn coal to generate electrical energy. How are all fossil fuels formed? All fossil fuels form from the buried remains of ancient organisms. So things that died millions and billions of years ago, buried underground for millions of years, that becomes coal, and we can burn it. Whoa. Sorry, everybody. 17. Describe how microscopic sea organisms form petroleum and natural gas. Microscopic sea organisms die, and their remains settle on the ocean floor. The remains are buried in sediment, are compacted, and become rock. Over millions of years, the remains become petroleum and gas. 18. What are permeable rocks? Permeable rocks are rocks through which fluids such as petroleum and gas can move. So we looked at limestone in class yesterday as a permeable rock that's kind of like a sponge. What will happen to part of the remains of today's sea life millions of years from now? Parts of today's sea life will become petroleum and natural gas millions of years from now. 20. Brown crumbly matter made of plant material burned for heat or used as fuel is peat. 21 is C, lignite, so that's 70% carbon. 22 is A, bituminous coal, and that's 80% carbon. And then the hardest type of coal, about 90% carbon, is D, anthracite carbon, or anthracite coal. What type of coal burns most cleanly? Anthracite. It has the greatest carbon content. And it burns more cleanly than other coals, but it still causes a lot of pollution. 25. Approximately what fraction of the petroleum used by the United States is imported from other countries? 1/2. So there's a lot of consequences to importing oil from other countries. Sometimes the countries, are in wars or have unlikable people in charge of those countries. Sometimes just transporting oil from one place to another, there could be oil spills. So there's a lot of consequences associated with importing petroleum from other countries. Also, we're just giving a lot of money to other countries when, people in the United States need it too. 26, how are petroleum and natural gas removed from the Earth's crust? By drilling wells. 27, two names for the process by which soil and rock are stripped from Earth's surface to expose underlying coal. Surface mining or strip mining, where you see like these big quarries where they're just stripping away the land looking for coal. 28, rain, sleet, or snow that has a high concentration of acids, often because of air pollutants, is acid precipitation. So when we burn fossil fuels, it puts pollution in the air that could cause acid precipitation. One major environmental problem caused by coal mining: it can remove soil that plants and animals need. It destroys habitats. That's a big problem with coal mining, is that we destroy a lot of habitats in order to get the coal. Two types of problems caused by producing, transporting, and using petroleum. Producing, transporting, and using petroleum can cause environmental problems and endanger wildlife. So it's not just burning the fossil fuels that's an issue, but it's actually getting the fossil fuels out of the ground and then transporting them from place to place and then using them. 31 is smog. Two reasons some large cities have serious smog problems. Large numbers of automobiles in the cities burn gasoline. Mountains surrounding cities like LA prevent wind from blowing pollutants away. So all that carbon dioxide just kind of stays in the air and it causes smog. That's it. Okay. Make sure you have corrected the entire directed reading. Put stars next to the ones you get right. Correct the ones you get wrong. Write notes if you need to. And be ready to turn that in.